I welcome you all in the class of social science. Today we are having a geography topic and the name of the chapter is water resources. It's the chapter number 3. Students, here I will tell you one thing, that this chapter will not come in your final exams. It will be assessed in periodic test only. And I hope when we will complete this chapter, you will be able to understand the causes and aspect of water scarcity, and you will be able to learn about the hydraulic structures in ancient India, and will be able to list the advantages and disadvantages of dams, and you will be able to learn about and understand about the process of rainwater harvesting and examine the needs and advantages of rainwater harvesting. So let's start the chapter. Students, about water, we know that it is a renewable resource. We already know that the 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water, but only a small proportion of it accounts for fresh water that can be put to use. Now the question arises, how is fresh water obtained? So fresh water is obtained from precipitation, surface runoff and groundwater that is continuously being renewed and recharged through the hydrological cycle. Students, you can have a question in the exams also, that how a fresh water is obtained, or what are the sources of fresh water. So we can have an answer. The first is precipitation, surface runoff and groundwater. These are the sources of fresh water. You can have another question also in this topic, that how is fresh water being renewed. So if you will get such type of question, the answer is okay, that is the fresh water is being renewed through the hydrological cycle. You all are familiar with the term of hydrological cycle. You have done this term in your previous classes. It's not a recent previous class 9th I'm talking about. You have done this chapter in class when you were having a EVS. EVS subject you were having this topic you have done lots of time. Students, we know that 3/4 of earth's surface is covered with water, but still we are facing with one problem, that is the water scarcity. So what is water scarcity? Here I will tell you. Before that, we will cover what is scarcity. Students, scarcity means shortage of anything. As we know that we are doing water resources chapter, definitely we will talk about water scarcity here. We know that 3/4 of earth's surface is covered with water, but there is still scarcity of water across the globe. And now we will discuss that why is the need for water increasing day by day. Fine. So first point we are having that a water availability varies over space and time, mainly due to variation in seasonal and annual precipitation. Second point we are having that rapid urbanization is also one of the factor for water scarcity. Third, we are having rapid increase in population that demands more and more water. And fourth point we are having industrialization is another cause, which is large industrial houses are using more and more water. You know that water is also using in industrial era also. It is used over there as a raw material. Fine. So water is also required in industries, and it requires more water to generate electricity also. And next point we are having rising income levels also create more demand for water. 96.5% of the total volume of world's water is estimated to exist as ocean, and we know that ocean water cannot be used as a fresh water, and only 2.5% of fresh water we are having. Students, you can have a 1 mark question also. What is the percentage of fresh water that we are having? That is a 2.5% of fresh water we are having, and nearly 70% of this fresh water occurs as ice sheet, glaciers, while a little less than 30% is stored as a groundwater in the world's aquifers. Students, now we cover what are the main factors of water scarcity in India. We will cover that major causes of water scarcity in India. So we are having some causes here. First, post-independence India has witnessed intensive industrialization and urbanization, which increased water demand. We know that water is using in industry as a raw material. It's not a matter of present time. It has been used from since years ago, And second, we are having large urban center with large and dense population, and urban lifestyle have only added to water requirement. Urban lifestyle, we are living in an urban area. We know that what type of, yeah, what are the ways that we are using water. We can say that many people are wasting the water. When you were in class third and fourth, you will be able to answer that how we have to use water while bathing and while brushing and so on. So even then it has been awareness given lots of time. Even then people are using water recklessly. It's a lifestyle of urban people, and we are also a part of it. Next, we are having population explosion after independence led to over exploitation of underground water for irrigation. Population explosion is one of the main factor for the water scarcity. As the population going to be increased, the water demand has to be increased. Fine. The next, we are having the water is getting polluted by domestic and industrial waste, chemical pesticides and fertilizers. These are also a biggest factor for water scarcity, that people are polluting the water resources. Fine. Chemical pesticides and fertilizers they are using for their crops, that is also going to be mingle in the water resources, fresh water resources, and becoming the cause for the water scarcity. Students, usually what happen, the moment we speak of water shortages, we immediately associate it with regions having low rainfall or those that are drought prone, and we intentionally visualize the desert of Rajasthan and women balancing many matkas, matkas like earthen pots used for collecting and storing water and traveling long distances to get water. Fine. So availability of water resources varies over space and time, mainly due to variation in seasonal and annual precipitation. But water scarcity is most cases, we can say that it is caused by over exploitation, excessive use, and unequal access to water among different social groups. Students, here we will discuss one more thing. Maybe you have seen in many television advertisement that most farmers have their own wells and tube wells in their farms for irrigation and to increase their produce. But have you ever wondered that what this could result in? That it may lead to falling groundwater levels, adversely affecting water availability and food security of the people. But I will say that it's not a matter of farm and farmers. We people living in urban areas, and we are also like to have a submersible in our houses. It is also having a wastage of water. We all are having, if all the people have a submersible in their houses, so definitely the groundwater will be decreased one day. We need bucket of water when submersible on it, bucket fill in seconds. So can we say that we are saving the water? No. Students, as we have discussed that the water is getting polluted by domestic and industrial waste and chemical pesticides and fertilizers, its effect we can see on our rivers also. If we talk about river Yamuna and Ganga, especially the smaller one, have all turned into toxic streams. And even the big ones like a Ganga and Yamuna are far from being pure, and the result on India's river from population growth, agriculture modernization, urbanization and industrialization is enormous and growing by the day, and this entire life stands threatened. So students, now the question arises, how can we control over exploitation and mismanagement of water resources? Fine. So overexploitation and mismanagement of water resources can be controlled through conservation and management of these resources. Conservation can also prevent degradation of our natural ecosystem, as well as control the ecological crisis that may arise due to its scarcity. Students, you know that conservation water is not a current issue. Water conservation was also there in ancient time. But the question arises, how do we conserve and manage water that time? Archaeological and historical records show that from ancient time we have been constructed sophisticated hydraulic structures like dams, and that were built of stone, rubber, reservoirs or lakes, embankments and canals for irrigation. And not surprisingly, we have continued this tradition in modern India also by building dams in most of our river basins. So students, we are having a short description about hydraulic structures here. In the 1st century BC, Srinagarapura near Allahabad had sophisticated water harvesting system, channeling the flood water of the river Ganga. And second, during the time of Chandragupta Maurya, dams, lakes and irrigation system were extensively built. And third, evidences of sophisticated irrigation works have also been found in Kalinga, Nagarjunkanda, Andhra Pradesh, Banur, Karnataka and Kolhapur, Maharashtra, etc. And in the 11th century, Bhopal Lake, one of the largest artificial lake of its time, was built. And in the 14th century, the tank in Hauz Khas, Delhi, was constructed by Iltutmish for supplying water to Siri Fort area. So students, you can have a proper question that write a short note on the hydraulic structures in ancient India. If you will get that 3 or 4 points that I have discussed here, you can write over there. So students, if we will talk about a modern way of conserving water, so we are having dams here which come under multi-purpose projects. So firstly we will cover what is dam. So student, dam is a barrier across flowing water that obstruct, directs or retards the flow, often creating a reservoir. Fine. So dam refers to the reservoir rather than the structure. Most dams have a section called spillway or weir through which it is intended that water will flow either intermittently or continuously. So students, dams are classified also according to the structure, intended purpose or height. Based on structure and the material used, dams are classified as timber dams, embankment dams or masonry dams with several subtypes. According to the height, dams can be categorized as large dams and major dams, or alternatively as low dams, medium height dams and high dams. So further topic will be discussed in our next video.